Hi everybody, welcome to this episode of She's the Boss. And today, I'd like to introduce you to Stacy. And if we were to have a look at her resume, if there is one right now, it will be easily 10 pages long. She has worked numerous jobs even before she turned 21. And it gives me the honor to be able to be here to speak to her and give our audience a chance to get to know her story. Let's welcome Stacy, and I'll let her introduce herself to you. Over to you, Stacy. Welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm Stacy, the founder of Baby Express. I started working when I was 14, doing waitressing. Then I went into working in a hair salon to learn how to do hair because I was curious of how it works. Then shortly after, at around 17, I had my first son. After that, I went back into working in a clothing store. From there, I was introduced into administrative job, working as a customer service officer. And then I got the opportunity to work in the accounts department as an admin assistant. And during that point of time was also when I took up my course in business management, and while I had held 2 other part-time jobs. So basically Monday to Friday, I was working in the office 9 to 5. Weekend nights, 4 nights a week, I was working, selling liquor in a bar. And then weekends, I was helping my friend. She was short-staffed, so I helped her in mending her store in Bugis.
You were selling clothes, the store?
She was selling bags.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
At that point of time, I was holding 3 jobs and studying while my son was about a year old. So not too long after that, I went back into doing admin stuff. So I was a secretary. Then I went to do admins for an events company. And during that point of time, I managed to save up to get my driving license. So the moment my license passed, I quit my admin job and I went straight into sales because I find that is a opportunity, or rather the best opportunity for my position at then to have better salary. And then I was in sales and marketing for about 5 to 6 years in the building industry line. So during this time, I was still hoping to do more. So I had sidelines like, I start selling stuff off online. And that was the starting era of the Q10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I managed to sell some party product, and then eventually it got me so interested in the party industry that I actually started a dessert table company. So it led to a lot more. And because of my interest in the dessert party stuff, I actually got myself certified as a cake decorator.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cake decorator.
Yes, correct.
I've never heard of that before. What does that do?
So it's like, baker, chef, they have their own certification.
Yep.
So I'm a cake decorator. So I learned
cake decorator.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I learned how to cream the cake, how to design the cake.
I see.
And
I see.
doing those edible flowers and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, understand.
But it all became more like a hobby, a sideline, because it's a lot of manual work. And having kids, it's not easy to manage. Yeah, there's too much time involved.
I don't think anything that you have mentioned so far is easy when you have kids. Especially when you have kids, really.
Yeah.
All the things that you just mentioned that you were doing, it's all very labor intensive and long hours.
I think at that point of time, it wasn't a choice. So I wasn't really picky. I would say I'm always curious to know stuff, to learn new stuff. And so with 2 kids back then, after that, yeah, I just did whatever came into my way and then just tried to do whatever I can. So until when I almost had my 3rd child, that's where I ventured into doing rabbit grooming. Yeah. Again, it's a very niche industry, which is, I feel that something I would like a service that I could offer to people. It wasn't very long lived because after that, I had my 3rd child. Time was much tighter then. So I stopped working for almost 2 years. And that's where it led me to this opportunity of the breast pump. Because I was then pregnant with my 4th already, and I was looking for breast pumps. Because my idea was how to save money with the 4th kid.
Yep.
Because milk powder is definitely not cheap in Singapore. So
yeah, I know.
So with that in mind, I went to look for breast pumps, and I realized that overseas have so much portable breast pumps that Singapore do not have at all. And why is that so? But I didn't think much into it back then. We started as a reseller, so we imported stuff and sell. And it got me into thinking, it was just something that happened on a day where I was curious at how do I fix this breast pump? Or how can I make it better?
But for yourself, or you were already thinking about making it as a business?
I was still thinking for more of myself, because at that point of time it was more of a sideline where I was just looking to earn maybe $200-300 a week, or rather at least maybe $500-600 a month to sustain my family. So it was true that I was very lucky. I met up with the right person who introduced me right into the industry, and then I got to meet up with some product engineers, and then R&D teams. So yeah, I was introduced straight into the industry, and then it just grew from there.
Before you got your business certificate, like what was your highest qualification back then?
Before I was certified in my business management, my highest qualification back then was only secondary 2, because I dropped out in secondary 3. Yeah.
Okay. And was that a very big hurdle, or rather, was it a very, very big problem to you when you were looking for jobs?
It was a very big problem, not only on academic side, but because I dropped out of school, because back then my discipline master didn't find that I was going to be doing anything good. So I was deemed as a problematic child. And with that, even though I was an A student then, I lost hope. It prompted me to drop out of school. But it didn't stop me from wanting to learn more and continuing my studies. So although yes, it did affect me very badly, because I had a lot of opportunities, I would say backdoor opportunities into my work life. And because of that, my earnings was up to about $5,000 back then, which is quite a lot.
Which job was it that gave you this?
I was doing sales.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So sales, and then I was in the building industry, building and construction line. So that was where I got to earn a bit more. But because of my education, it's considered low, because after my business management cert, the next one is a secondary 2 cert. So it hindered me a lot in finding other jobs, because when people look at my resume, they look at the education level, they find that, why is this like secondary student, sec 2 student girl earning 5,000 a month? Is she worth it? No. That is usually what people pay, like probably a diploma students after
Or
years
even
of
a degree?
experience.
Yeah. That's the thing.
When my best friend joined me in the business, she pointed out to me the potential in this business. There's so much people that we can reach to, that this product can actually be beneficial to them. And after a year, that's where we decided to really start advertising and build up the business. Or rather, we decided to make it into a business.
And how many years have you started this business?
This year, 2024, will be our 5th year already.
Okay.
So I think we've been very lucky, because the first year, it was really very through word of mouth. Only the second year onwards, where after we decided that we can actually step out to be a company, that's where we only started to do some advertising.
And during your journey, were there like dark moments that made you almost want to give up everything?
Actually, the most difficult time, I think from then till now, or rather the thing that we're still facing, is financial issues. Because I believe most people who start business, they have probably saved up a sum or something like that, no? Or they have something to fall back on. But I didn't have anything to fall back on. I actually started the business, this sideline, with the $2,000, which is what we managed to pull in from all the ang pao money that I saved for my kids. Yeah, so it's not even our savings. It's really every last cent that we are finding that is really hidden in the drawer, that I threw in, and then it's kind of like I have to make it work. Yeah, because if not, we will totally not have any single cent. And I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, my husband was working, but
You didn't have extras?
I wouldn't even say have extras. It was just okay to tie us through. Yeah. So I mean, with 4 kids, a bit more earnings would definitely be good.
And the thing is, it's like from what I've been hearing so far, right? You definitely did your best to earn money from different sources, different ways. It doesn't seem to come across to me that you did everything that you did out of passion or because you're good at it. You see, you had the need, you needed money, and you were ready to jump into whatever jobs that's able to put food on the table, right? And I think this is a spirit that I think all the audience will be able to gather, for at least for now, right? From after listening to what you have been through. Now, so far, how do you overcome the struggles that you face and continue to push through and persevere and build the business to where you are today?
I think in terms of this business, what pushes us on is the feedback that we get from customers, that how our products actually benefits them. But of course, with that, we are always looking into improving the product itself to make it more cost efficient for them too. Because I believe that after this COVID situation, it actually affected a lot of people. A lot of livelihood is affected lah. So financially, everybody's kind of stuck also. So like of course, like a breast pump, we will consider as an essential, and in the market, it's not really cheap. So buying something that you will be using, but you do not know how long. So what else can we add on to make it beneficial is to like provide like alternative for its usage. So that's why we say that we like to look into cost effective situations whereby we can add different functions into the products lah.
I would say this is the main business you're doing right now, right?
Yes, correct.
And do you have any other business ventures that you did before that didn't turn out well?
Actually, I did quite a number of businesses that didn't turn out well. Actually, the very first one was blog shop. So I
Blog
think
shop, okay.
back then, I think about 15 years ago was the
The
start of
in,
all the
yeah,
blog
it
shops,
was the in
right?
thing, yeah.
Like so, like brands like Love
Yep.
Bonito, who is
Yep.
now so successful. So we were actually with them that kind of at that wave at the beginning, but yeah, things doesn't turn out as it always planned now. So I had two partners then. We had a bit of a scuffle, and then because we also had our main jobs and it was a sideline, so in the end we decided to let it go. Yeah. So other than that was my dessert table. I also actually have two partners in it. So because it's quite a tedious job because I was the baker, and then we had a designer, and then my friend, she actually basically runs everything else. So again, it always comes with different opinions. I won't say it's a bad thing, but sometimes in business, it's not like a marriage where we can just compromise, because certain things is our own beliefs, and I wouldn't say that I don't have passion. When I do something, I really like to pour my soul into it. But if I feel that we are on a different level, because they also have a full-time job, our commitment levels are different. So I can't force them to put in more time and effort too. So I feel that because of such things, it's usually a factor that affects our relationship. So we decided to also let it go. Yeah.
So from these experiences, I believe that maybe nowadays, do you feel that like it's better for you to venture yourself?
I think in business wise it's easier because it's just like you have any dispute or anything, you always need a tiebreaker, which is like the third party. So I feel that as a business owner myself now, I have my two good friends with me. They give me opinions, they give me feedbacks, and end of the day I'm the decision maker, which I feel that it makes things easier. I put myself as the tiebreaker lah, so that we won't really have dispute of saying that because we have a fair share in the company, we all want to have certain things done. So I think it works better that way, being a tiebreaker, than to have partners.
And I would like to go back to a bit about where you were back then. Like you mentioned, you stopped school, you didn't even complete Sec 3, right? And at that point of time, you're having two or three kids, right? Before you got your license.
Oh, that one only two
kids.
No, one kid.
One kid.
Yeah.
And after that, then the second and third one follows, right?
Yeah.
Okay, my question is, with all these factors in, all right, because we all know, especially in Singapore, let's not talk about anywhere else, we talk about Singapore, education is very important, right? Everybody thinks that you need education to get you somewhere. And if you don't even have O levels, which was like yourself, like even now you also don't have O levels,
Yeah,
right?
I don't have. I still don't have.
You
I
still
never
don't
get
have
it.
O levels.
Yeah.
So if you add all these together, it just tells us that you are not going to have an easy life, be it money, be it career. And coupled with you have kids that you got to take care of. And of course, they are never burdens, right? But they are our responsibilities. You have to take care of them and you have to put food on the table, right?
True. Yep.
And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know how tough it is. For myself, I can only imagine. I don't even know how tough it is. So how do you overcome all this, and how do you manage your time and your mental state? How do you pull through?
Actually, I didn't really think that much. I think it's just that whatever life throws at my face, I just take it in. Look at a positive way. Instead of thinking, oh, why am I in this position? I reason myself to find a reason to say, why am I here? in a positive note instead. Perhaps, if I didn't have my son back then, I wouldn't be in this position today. Yeah.
Like a push
So,
factor, right?
correct.
Yeah,
So I
because you
believe,
mentioned just now cannot fail.
yeah, I believe like everything happens for a reason. So, but it's just that it's easy for one person to blame it on something else. But I feel that instead of blaming it on something else, can this be a blessing in disguise? Yeah, so I think with that kind of a mindset, I just kept pushing myself. And to me, although I know that I don't have an O-level cert, and I feel that going backwards may not be the way for me now. So whatever opportunity throws to me, I will find that it's a stepping stone. So yes, I still don't have O-level cert, but I got so much more certs now. Yeah, I'm a certified lactation consultant. I'm a certified postpartum doula. I'm also a certified cake decorator.
That's where all the fancy cakes come from.
Yeah, correct.
Now cakes are like art pieces.
Correct. Yeah, so I think it's really about the mindset and the mentality, because regardless of what you do in life, even having just a job, it will never be a perfect thing. There will be ups and downs. You have funny colleagues, you have funny situations that happen at work. So how do you face them? I think that's the main thing. Yeah.
What will be considered your biggest sacrifice so far?
I think the biggest sacrifice is time, definitely, because I try to put as much as I can, involve myself as much as I can into the business, into whatever I do. So like my current business, I'm just selling a breast pump to everybody else. I'm just selling a breast pump. No. Because of this, I learned a lot. I got into the industry. I get to understand what does this whole OEM industry work. I get to understand the back end of a breast pump. How does it even get engineered? How was it even produced? I got to know like feedbacks from users, from consultants, from nurses, from doctors about its usage, its functions. And it then dawned on me that it's not just a product. It shouldn't be a product that should be sold just like it is. And because of that, that's why I got myself certified as a lactation consultant. Because I feel that nowadays, although we can find a lot of information online, but most of it are just through people's experience. They may not be proper information. Yeah. So I think being properly certified, it gives me a bit more upper hand in this case, because basically I studied my way through this. Yeah, so I feel that with that, I can better teach my customers how to use the product. So
I get what you mean. Because, internet, right? Social media.
yeah,
Everybody looks at it almost every day. And the thing is, the content that gets to us are from people who may not know anything about it.
true.
Right? So, and a lot of us take whatever they say like it's some gospels from the Bible. Right?
Correct.
When people like yourself who actually know what is it about, knows that this is all rubbish. Like for example, if you have some movies, like maybe movies on fighter jets or whatsoever, the real pilots will know what's fake, what's real. Whereas
Correct.
people like us laymen will be like, wow, this is exciting, blah blah
True,
blah,
true.
etc. Right? So yeah, I do get what you mean. Okay, and that's where knowledge is power.
Correct.
Right? And you teach people like the correct way to use it. Because to a lot of people, I get what you mean. A lot of people, breast pump, even to myself, all right, it's like, it's just you buy it, plug and play, you use it, that's it. So there's much more to just that.
Correct.
Yep. And that's one of the reasons why you knew that this was something missing in this
Whole industry,
industry, and that's where you started this business, and it helped you to start this business as well, right?
Correct. It got me into venturing further in depth into the business itself, because it's like I don't want to just be a seller. Everybody can be a seller.
Yep.
Yeah, I can be taken over by anybody next day. But what I really want to do is to educate the society, to teach them that not everything are just a product. There are ways to use a product to make it really, really useful for you. Because when we purchase something, of course, we want to be able to use it. So, like what I always tell people, it's not like a washing machine where you just, roughly press anyway, end of the day, the item is washed and clean. No, breast pump doesn't work that way. So, I would say it's like maybe a blood pressure monitor, you must know how to wear the cuff. You must know how to press. Yeah, you
the
know, at a certain
buttons.
point where you need to
Yeah.
release the air and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
So all these little factors are things that, you know, I feel that it's missing out. Yeah, and that's why I feel that getting myself certified will, I gain more knowledge lah. I gain more proper knowledge so that I can guide people on it also. Yeah.
And so far, we have been talking a lot about like your struggles, your sacrifices, um, the things that you got to go through from 14 years old until now, which for myself, and I believe I can safely speak for many others, is I don't think I can imagine how to live your life until I mean that stage of your life. I don't have the slightest idea of how it feels. Okay, but I know that it's definitely very, very, very difficult. All right. Now let's talk about the happier moments. Okay. Like so far, what will be the most joyous and most fulfilling moment that you have in your entrepreneurship so far?
I think the best things that we gain from this is always knowing that how our product, how our services actually help mothers. Yeah, to help our customers. So when they tell us, hey, you know, we have been jumping from pumps to pumps and doesn't work. So, you know, they realize that actually it's all they needed was just proper guidance. And our services actually aided them, which is ultimately what we want. And I think that is the only fuel that pushes us through. Yeah.
So, in other words, it's like because you knew how it feels when you cannot find a solution to your problem.
Yep.
And the trial and error method takes a lot of time.
Correct. And it's very individual because there's really too much details.
Yeah, what works for her may not work for you.
Correct, yes.
Yeah, and you cannot just hear from other mother. And you know, mothers forum is very active. There are a lot of mothers
Correct.
forum, right? And so everybody will give their inputs.
Yep.
Right? Everybody will be the expert to say how to do it, blah blah blah.
I mean, in a good way, they're trying to share
trying
their
to help,
experience.
yes.
Yeah,
yes.
but it's just like, you know, a doctor, why you have to see a doctor for, you know, even though it's cough, they'll ask you things like dry cough or wet
Yeah.
cough, you know.
Yeah.
Then they give different medications. So it's like, you know, sometimes they say, hey, give the apple garlic onion water. Or some will just ask you to apply some, but
Yep.
it doesn't necessarily work, you see. That's why we still need a doctor.
You need someone to do the application of the correct application of the medicine. Medicine
Correct.
is just there, right?
Correct.
It's science. It's just science, right? It's like you mix the yellow and blue, you get green, just like that. But you need someone who knows what's happening and how to apply the correct medication for the problem, for the situation.
Yep.
Right? And that's where you come in.
Yep.
Right? And so when you and I was saying just now, okay, because the trial and error method takes a lot of time and every mistake costs money.
True.
Right? And we're not talking about something that's just $5. We're talking
Actually, in this case, it's not really about money.
Oh, is it?
It costs you more pain, unnecessary pain.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the main issue.
Because it's also not it's not a very enjoyable experience to pump milk, right?
I won't say it's not an enjoyable process. It's just that there are too many factors people do not see, little details that people oversee, which, you know, cause them to, I would say, go through unnecessary pains. So, yeah, so I think with guidance, there's a lot of unnecessary problems we can quickly help them to eliminate. Yes, correct.
Yeah, they don't even have to go through that. Like we mentioned before during our talks just now. You mentioned about if imagine sterilizing
during our COVID time,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Everybody start washing their hands.
Yeah.
You know, their hands get dry and then it gets painful. How can you deal with it?
Yeah.
It's the same as our body. Every skin cells, when you are overusing, over cleaning, over sterilizing, the best way to do is to moisturize it. Yeah, but there are many ways to moisturize it. So yeah, that's where we can come in to help, and then, you know, we can provide suggestions on how to, you know, moisturize it. It's just like eczema. You know, not everybody can use steroid creams, and some can only use steroid for a certain period of time.
Yep.
So, I mean, as online mothers, of course, everybody are very helpful. They always share their information, but as like what we were saying, what works for one doesn't work for the other. Yeah, and that's where I would say a professional would be the best help.
Okay. Now, for individuals, I mean, there are a lot of people who have goals and aspirations, right? A lot of people want to be an entrepreneur, start their own businesses, right? But most of us are very hesitant to start because we may not know how to start. We may lack of the courage. We may be afraid to start because we are afraid to fail, right? What advice will you give our audience on how can we make our first step to start our own business?
I think on this part, it really depends on your mindset of why you want to be an entrepreneur. Are you in for the money only? Are you looking to be rich? Are you looking to, really bring in a beneficial product to the society? I think these are factors that will affect. Because if you're in for money, I mean, we put it flat out lah. Money grows money. Without money, you don't have a lot of money. So if you're really looking to, go rich with something, I would say it's really by luck because products changes during different trends and seasons. So if you got the right trend, you're on the right wave, you can earn very quickly.
Just like bubble tea.
Yeah, correct. It was a hype, right?
Yeah.
So you manage to get in at the right time, you get to earn a lot. So if you are in for the money, so I guess it's really, you have to pray that you are on the right product on the right wave. But if you are in because of a product that you feel can really benefit and help, I think with that kind of sincerity, the want to help kind of a mindset, I feel that it won't really get you rich. Maybe it will.
Yeah. Of course, it is possible. Yeah, it is possible.
But I think that with that, you need to consider that things take time to grow also. So it's definitely not easy. I mean, nothing is ever easy. So you really need to know what kind of a mindset you are stepping into, and you cannot be expecting to be rich overnight. It takes time. It takes a lot of effort. Like when I started out, I was pregnant with my 4th child. So even during delivery, I was still replying my messages.
Like
in the delivery suite, I was still replying my messages. And then just before I pushed my baby out, mine was a natural birth. So before I pushed my baby out, I was still on my phone. And then until I couldn't take it already, already at a max contraction already, I put my phone down. I pushed my baby out. I took a 4-hour nap. And then I'm back to replying messages and doing work online. So these are the type of sacrifices that, we may need to do. You really won't have time even for yourself to rest.
Can I call it laser sharp focus, persistence, relentless persistence to achieve your goal?
I think we simplify it as desperate.
Okay,
Yes.
Yeah, that's a very, very simple way to put it.
Yeah.
Whereby no sugaring of it. It's just you're desperate to be successful because
You just have to make it work.
you have to make it. There's
Yeah.
no room for failure.
Correct.
Absolutely no room for failure.
Yeah, you're basically at the edge of the cliff. You can't step back. There's nowhere for you to go. So you just have to take the jump.
Okay. And I wanted to ask you what was the most important, or rather like how do people can cultivate this kind of like grit, 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 the persistence. But I think you sort of answered it just now. You said just be desperate. Because when you're desperate, everything else is outside of your head.
I think when you are, in a way, you have to be desperate enough to want it. Because when you give yourself the easy way out, humans, we always take the easy way out. Like you have a choice to cook your own noodles or order takeaway. We always go with the easy way out, ordering takeaway. So I think when you leave yourself with no choice, you really don't have anything else alternative to fall back on. So you have to push for it, I guess.
In Chinese, 破釜沉舟. There's no way to go back.
Yeah.
You go there, you sink the boat, you can only fight to stay alive.
Correct.
Okay. You have achieved significant success so far, all right? So how do you stay grounded and continue to be connected to your passion and continue to build your business and achieve greater success? Because like what you say, I would say that compared to where you are now, to where you were in the first 25 years of your life. This is a dream, right?
Yep.
Or consider this is already a
Yes.
dream. How do you still have that hunger to continue to push yourself and your career and your business to the next level?
So long, I think after so long in this line, I feel that it's the passion that pushes me on. You know, it just goes back to the most fundamental thing, that the product, our services is helping, and I think that itself is enough to push me forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think the other thing is I like to be in touch with my customers. So usually at fairs, at basically anywhere in office, you always see me around. I like to speak to customers. I'm always very eager to share with them. And I always like to hear feedback from them, because I never believe that we are flawless. There are always things to improve. So whatever that I have gone through, like my own products, I used to use my own products before I put it out in the market. So I get to have a feel and touch, not to really understand my product, and then I can understand what customers feel when they're using it. I think with that, that is the the main thing, the main experience that I can share with them. And from there, when they share their experience, they know that I understand and we can relate to what we are talking. And yeah, I guess that's the one thing that's been keeping me grounded. So it's just basically being there with the customers, hearing from them personally, knowing what they go through, their struggles, and then finding ways to always improve ourselves. Yep.
So to sort of like summarize the last 5 minutes, it's like desperate
Yes.
to be successful. And when you get to a certain level of success, passion
Correct.
keeps you going and propels you further beyond yourself, right?
Yeah.
At this point of your life, are your kids, how much can I call it motivation does your kids have? Or rather, not your kids, sorry. I mean, okay, let me just rephrase it. Now, at this point of your life whereby the business is up and running, doing well, I mean, because back then you were talking about like your motivation, main part of it was because you're desperate and you need to put food on the table for your kids. You need to provide for your kids. How about now? Because you can do that already, right? That's already something that you can do. You already achieved that. Now, what is the next kind of motivation that you have from your kids?
So yeah.
Like for example, are they still your source of motivation, your kids?
I think in a way they are definitely always a source of motivation for me, because they are my responsibility. So with them around, and them growing up, they have their wants, their needs. So as a mother, as a parent, we always feel that, we have to provide for them and such. So I think it does in a way pushes me, and then to make me want to, do better also. So, I can provide them with more stuff. Yeah.
So like, did your kids ever talk to you about about how they feel about you and your business?
I don't really know, honestly. I never asked them. But I know that they are a bit upset that I'm working a bit too much and not be able to spend much more time with them. Which is, I agree, it is a big sacrifice, because it's very hard to balance up, because when problem comes, everything comes together. So when my kids want my attention, work has problems. So, and I tend to shelve my kids aside, because the product that I'm selling can be very time sensitive. Anytime that we delay replying a customer, it can cause, their drop in their breast milk supply. So I tend to put my customers on priority basis, which affects my kids. I guess they are disappointed lah. Yeah, but that's something that we really have to work on. Still have to work on. Yeah.
I mean, do you have a talks with them about like, or rather in your mind, did the thought of you yourself wanting to be a role model to your kids come into play? Do you speak to them whereby, or rather, like, have you thought about like, okay, let me rephrase it, okay? Do you think whatever you are doing now is something that you want your children to follow you? Or maybe, another way to put it will be like, so after going through, okay, let me just phrase it this way. After going through whatever that you have been through all these years, what will be the few important lessons that you want your children to learn from your experience?
I think I hope that they will be like me in the sense that they are always open to learning new things. Yeah. And then look at every hurdle, every problem or anything as a blessing in disguise. Find positive ways to look at things. I guess that's the one thing that I hope they can get from me.
Okay, okay. And in your career, do you have a mentor or a few mentors that you learn from?
I don't actually have mentors. Yeah.
Your
But
mentor was your own experiences.
yeah, I guess so.
You
Yeah.
learn from your own mistakes.
True. But I would say that I'm very lucky. It's like what the Chinese will say, I have a lot of 贵人.
Okay.
So I think that's one thing that I managed to reach out to here. It's really meeting out all these 贵人, all these people that actually lend me a helping hand. For no reasons, there are a lot of them, they are just strangers. Like from the start of my work life, I got into corporate life also through a recommendation. It's all started through recommendations, and I think that it's probably something to do with mentality or mindset. When you are always eager to want to learn more,
And people can feel it, and people
Yeah.
are more than willing to give you opportunity. Because like what I mentioned, if all they know about you is just from your resume, they wouldn't even give you a second look. And that's why you couldn't find a job for
Correct.
more than a year, right?
Yep.
But it's because of people who have seen you and they know how you are, the values that you give when you work for them, and that's where they want to keep you, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I can see that too, definitely. And are there any special people that you want to thank them that help you? There are people that maybe, Asian culture, I don't know whether, because our Asian culture is like, we are always thankful to people, but somehow we feel shy to really thank them,
True.
Yeah, so, well, this is an opportunity for you if you have anybody that you want to thank.
I think for me, I'm just very grateful and thankful to have very supportive parents. Yeah. Every fall comes with, some damage control. Like I need to work and things like that. They are always there with my kids to help me. Basically, they help me in whatever they can. Yeah. Even, we are not from a very rich background, but every last cent they have, they are very willing to help me. So I think that itself is the biggest thing already. Yeah. This unwavering support from them. Yeah. I guess. Yep. I'm still very grateful for all the help that sometimes I feel so bad. Yeah.
Because
Of I want to do more, I want to, achieve something more. Then, whatever that I sacrificed, I couldn't fit in, I couldn't do, they have to do it on behalf of me, for my kids. Like, I want to go out with my kids, but I can't do it. So they will be there for my kids. Like even as simple as my kids in kindergarten, when they have like whatever show and tell, whenever I can't be there, they are always there on behalf. So I think that is really a lot. Yeah.
I'm very sure they are very proud of you right now. I'm very sure. Because as parents ourselves, I think we can understand the kind of pain or that they'll be feeling when they see us struggle. It pains them more than it's painful for ourselves, right? When they look at us.
I think it works both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So definitely they yeah, they are the people that we want to thank the most. Yeah, right. And I truly agree to that. Yeah, I truly agree to that. And last but not least, I mean, I hear you whereby now you're still very passionate about what you're doing. You know, you don't see any part of this as a chore. But how do you maintain a healthy lifestyle and take care of yourself mentally and physically? How do you keep yourself happy? How do you reward yourself every now and then?
Wow. I think the best way I reward myself is by being there at the baby fair, speaking to my customers personally.
Why? Why?
Because I always find that, I always find it very meaningful to be able to, help people. So I guess that's my source of happiness. Finding that, my products are actually working, beneficial. Yeah. I guess that's what works for me.
Okay, okay. That's very good. That's very good. That's very good. Because I think that maybe sometimes it's like it was because when you were when at times where you needed help, you would have wished for someone like yourself now to help you back then, right?
Yeah.
To make your life much easier, right? And so now you are able to, and that's where you want to be that person to a lot of people around you.
Yeah.
Right?
Hopefully. Yeah.
I'm sure you can do it. I'm sure. Well, that's comes to the end of our interview, and I believe that, like, when the audience see your story by now, you will have given them a lot of confidence and inspiration, how to overcome the odds, and still be able to achieve success. And on behalf of the audience, I'd like to thank you for your time.
Thank you too.
Thank
you.
All right, that's it for today. And thank you, Stacy. And hopefully we'll be able to invite you back again for maybe more insights on like the actual running of a business.
Sure.
And for the audience, if you all have any questions for Stacy, please write them down in the comments so that we can get Stacy to answer them.
Yep.
In the next episode, we'll invite her back for sure. And she'll see you guys again soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.